Shalom, Israel. First, I want to start by giving all honor, praises, and infinite glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors unto the elders, apostles, and bishops, the GMS Great Millstone who rule well, teach, and edify. In peace and blessings, you sincere Akyam, while Akwat in his house of the faith. My name is Ashai from the GMS Arizona Church, and I don't want to make an edifying video. And through the Spirit, I was just kind of thinking, we have to flee from Babylon, of course. And that includes everything, man. Jake has gotten so used to Esau doubling everything to where they if it isn't backed by Esau, then they feel like they can't they can't get over it. For example, therapy, going to a therapist or physical or personal trainers or dietitians, doctors, dentists, all these certain, people that are supposed to be backed by Esau's, program. A lot of you Jakes depend on those things for how to take care of yourself and how to take care of your body. A lot of people say that, if you're not doing good mentally, go see a therapist. And when I was a lot younger in this faith, my mom took me to a therapist. She asked me a bunch of stupid questions and charged me $120 that I ended up having to pay. Honestly, it hurt me more doing $120 than sitting there than what I was vexed by. Like, that's stupid. You know what I mean? Never went back. But the Spirit of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahshua, came down and it fixes your mind, man. It'll fix your body. It'll fix your dental. It'll fix all these things, man, through the medicine of this truth, man. All right, we have physical medicine, we got the herbs, but we have that spiritual medicine, man. That bread that keeps us nourished and that keeps our body strong. We have that spiritual armor pursuant to Ephesians 6 and 10 that keeps a lot of these things away in the first place, man. And a lot of the times you can avoid certain things. We'll get a precept first before I say anything else. This is Sirach 37 and verse 26. Where we at? 37, 26. Nope. 27. It says, "My son, prove thy soul in thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it." So, generally, man, if you know that you have a problem with your liver, why drink alcohol so much? If you have a problem with your dental, why not back up on eating sugar? We as men of the Lord, man, we are men of discernment. So we identify root causes. All right, because you ultimately are what your habits are, man. If you're a godly man, you have godly habits. But if you have certain things and afflictions in your body that are killing you, then you have habits that are killing you. The beloved brother Yawana of the GMS Arizona Church, he likes to say a lot of times is, what I'm saying yes to, I have to also understand what I'm saying no to. So if you know damn well that you have liver issues, or your family has a history of hypertension, high blood pressure, you have a history of diabetes, if you say yes to eating sugar and you have diabetes, you're saying no to taking care of your temple, and you're saying no to preserving your temple and the life that the Lord gives you. See, that's the thing, man. This flesh, we do that which we want not to do, man. It's Romans 7 and 20. Where is it at? I just wanted to get the I wretched man. Because ultimately, man, Romans 7 and 21. Because if you read up in the scriptures, I do that which I do not that which I should do, but what I should do, I do not. And what I shouldn't do, I do. Roughly paraphrasing. It's a little bit of a tongue twister, but let's read this precept. It's Romans 7, and we'll just start at 20. Start at 19. It says, "For good that I would do, that I not, but the evil which I would do, which I would not, that I do. Now if I do that I would not, it is no more that I do it, but the sin that dwelleth in me," man. All of us brothers, man, we're trying to get rid of those things of the old man. You can't store, like the wine bottles, man. You can't store new wine in old wine bottles. You can't mix it up, man. Matter of fact, just quick precept is John chapter 3 and verse 3. And it says, and Yahushua answered and said unto him, verily, verily, I say unto thee, except any man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. If you're not being born again, man, if you go into Romans the 12th chapter in the 2nd verse, you have to be renewed, man. No longer conform to this world. I don't want to get too many precepts out at a time. So let's get that word born. And that's hinao. All right. Strong's G 1080. It says a man of father children, metaphorically, caused to arise. All right. One who brings others over to his way of life to convert someone. And we've all been converted, into this truth by the blood of Hamashiach, man. The Lord has died for the nation of Israel's sins. All right. Pursuing Isaiah 45 and 17. All right. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. And that world goes ultimately into Israel, man. A specific sect of people. And this is a blessing that we've inherited, man. Not by our doings, not by our works, because clearly our works are terrible, but by the grace and mercy of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua for his everlasting love for his nation of Israel. Isaiah 14 and 1. I'm about to butcher it, Salakia, real quick. It's a little off topic, but it says, for the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. So he will yet choose Israel, man. He will yet choose Israel, man. Because if you go into the scriptures, it's an everlasting covenant, a never-ending covenant. Malachi 3 and 6, the Lord shall not lie. He's not given a change. And that's the thing. We have to take a whole step back and think about, man. The bigger picture behind our actions. You might do something that isn't good for yourself, and you might think that it's like, okay, it's whatever, man. Like, I'm just a wretched man. Yo, it's bigger than that. Sure, we all are wretched men, but we're wretched men, trying to, renew our ways, bro, through the mercy that we've been given through the spilling of the blood, man. We've been called into this truth by the spilling of the blood. We cannot be lackadaisical on how we treat this ministry, how we treat ourselves, man, how we treat our house. We have to make sure that we have these things, to the best of our ability intact. And the Lord's going to put us through hell to see the evil side a lot of the times, man. If you a big brother, or you had a issue with food, a lot of the times the Lord's going to take you deeper into that issue so that you can start really understanding yourself. You can start knowing the evil side to that. And then he'll give you the understanding. He'll make you fear him more, and he'll make you get that knowledge, because fear is the driver of knowledge. Fear is the beginning of knowledge. And then, when you come out of that, you'll have a whole new level of understanding on not only why you should do that, but how you can do that, how you can get away from alcohol, how you can get away from women, how you can get away from food, how you can get away from dainty things, and just choose the Lord, man, and just be with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. How to escape this world, man. He'll give you the spirit to be able to do that. And in a lot of these times, sometimes the Lord will put you through these paths, man, with all these different things in life. And it'll feel like you might fall out the truth, or you might just be a bug out, or you just have no control over yourself, and then that fear of the Lord hits you. Boom. Like, I need to get right now, man, because you start understanding the bigger picture. A lot of times guys don't understand the bigger picture until it's too fucking late, man. And we have to be in the spirit of looking at it at all times. What are the things that I'm doing? Who is it affecting? And is the Lord pleased with the things that I'm doing? Is the things that I'm doing what Yahushua would do? Is the things that I'm doing what a godly man would do? And if it's not, be godly, man. It's a simple thing. It's a plain upon table, but it's a difficult thing, man. It's a hard thing, because we're in this body, man. We're in this flesh. We're attached to these chains of darkness, pursuing to Jude 1 and 7. Angels which kept out their first estate, held in chains of darkness until the end. And we're trying to break out of these bodies, bro. We have to really fight this, man. We want to put off this mortal clothing and put on immortal, but the only way to put off mortal clothing is by standing against it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, believing on the Lord, rehearsing these righteous acts, man. We cannot forget the fact that we are godly men. Sometimes you can get lost in the world and think like, oh, whatever. Like scriptures like Sirach 37 and like we just brought out. It might seem like a simple scripture, but this tells 1,000 words, man. It tells 1,000 words, and it's a simple scripture, man. Sirach 37:27. My son, prove thy soul in thy life. How? By literally following the Lord, fearing the Lord, and keeping his commandments. And there's all, 600 some odd commandments, 613, I believe, laws, statutes, and commandments that we have to try to uphold to the best of our ability. And although we cannot hold all of these things, we still have to try. And another thing, we have to put that nature on into our lives. Galatians, the 5th chapter, goes into the fruits of the Spirit, man. We have to put on the spirit of a godly man to the best of our ability. We're not saved by, doing the law. No man is saved by keeping the law, because it's impossible for us to keep the law. But if you keep, the nature of a godly man, you put these laws, statutes, and commandments into your life, you're going to see how good they are, man. You're going to see how beautiful they are and how much they protect us. Because, for example, you got a nigga that commits adultery, man. That guy, that demon that's on that guy, man, it's just going to be a cesspool of demons that's going to keep on going on that guy. And all of a sudden, he's getting into adultery, then he's getting into drugs, then he's getting into this, and then he's getting into idolatry. And then all of a sudden, he's just a bug out. And that's the thing. A lot of these people, they might be walking around looking like regular people at home. These are devils, man. People that just be walking around looking cool on the street. Yeah, they look cool on the street because everybody's putting on a fake ass front. But trust me, behind closed doors, man, these people are fucking devils. Devils, man. And we are godly men. Behind closed doors, we, although bros slip up, we put on godly nature, man. We ain't doing the things that these weirdos do, man. Or say you got to mow. I had an uncle like this, man. I hate this nigga, man. But he was a mow. And then, through all that mow shit, everybody told him, my grandma said, what the fuck is he going to do next? Start wearing dresses? Then everybody got mad at her. I agreed with that. I really did. And guess what? Years later, he didn't take that rebuke. He just kept on getting sassier and sassier. And in this, man, I hate this motherfucker, bro. Now he's a fucking transformer. And now he's gotten into all kinds of other shit. Drugs. His Billy Rubin was like 35. He almost died. Fucking liver cirrhosis. His eyes are all yellow. And that's I got to see, man, that put fear in my heart. That is a living representation of how demons could just start piecing up a guy, man. If you don't have the Lord, you're screwed. Okay? And we have to depart from Babylon, flee from Babylon. We have to flee mentally, bro. We cannot be depending on all of this shit. We can't even depend on the medicinal things of things. Bros, of course you got to go to the ER if you got to go to the ER. You know what I'm saying? If your elbow is bending the wrong way, you got 3 fingers and they all fucking all backwards, go to the ER, get that fixed. But we don't be out here popping Tylenols and popping Advils. I work in an industry where I've seen people that actually take these medicines, their kidneys collapse on them. I took care of a patient. She took Advil every single day for about a year. And after 1 year of taking Advils because of all her pain in her body, guess what happened to her? Kidney failure, ESRD, end-stage renal disease. And people that go on end-stage renal disease, they only have 5 years to live. The lifespan is about 60% of people that go on dialysis end up dying within the first 5 years. And if they don't end up dying in the first 5 years, what actually happens is because of having to do dialysis, it creates heart failure because of how much more your heart's having to work because of the process of dialysis. So now you got people that not only have that, but then they start getting fluid in their lungs. So now they start getting lung issues. And then they start getting infections. And then a lot of these people are diabetic, and ultimately their diabetes often gets worse and they start getting limbs cut off. I see that in my day-to-day life, man. But had a lot of these people had these laws, statutes, and commandments to know not to give themselves what is evil for them, they wouldn't be there in the first place. I had patients that tell me they would drink a 32-pack every single day. And you wonder why your ass is on this machine. That's the thing, bro. We cannot be like that. We cannot. The scriptures talk about he that is hasten of steps, shall fall in his way, roughly paraphrasing. He that is hasten of steps lacketh understanding in Psalms. Being hasty of steps also includes being hasty to just get dopamine hits because you want to feel good so bad. Our ultimate feel good is going to be in the kingdom. Our ultimate feel good is going to be in that chariot. Our ultimate feel good is going to be when the mission is complete. Not over here trying to get constant fucking dopamine hits on social media, on drugs, on alcohol, on women. You know, bros can develop a sex demon. You deal with too many fucking women, all of a sudden you going to start getting an itch. Like as if like you need to be, you know, screwing some broad right now. That's an issue, man. We cannot be dependent on anything here, man. We cannot be dependent. Jumping down to Sirach 37-29, be not unsatiable in any dainty thing, nor too greedy upon meats. And that's something that I'm even dealing with, man. You know, me as a brother, man, I had an issue with like binging. I still have an issue with it, and I'm trying to correct it, man. But how do you correct it? You get counsel. You get brothers' advice that been through that same thing, and they tell you how to implement and go through that so that you're not too insatiable in any dainty thing. If you go into that word dainty, it means pleasurable. Especially in this society where pleasures are at an all-time high, bro. You can go to the strip club at noon. You can go get a terrible meal right afterwards. And then you can go on social media and doom scroll. There's a liquor store on every damn corner. And it's just absolutely, it's just twisted out here, man. And we have, as spiritual men, have to wax to that spirituality. We have to be temperate. Matter, that's a spirit. So this is a 1 Corinthians 9 and verse 24. And this reads, it says, know ye not they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize, so run that ye may obtain. If you're running to obtain a win in a race, you're not taking pit stops every single time you see pussy or drugs or alcohol. You're not running a marathon and then just taking a little divot through the strip club and then going right back out. You know what I mean? That's wild. What was that one video? Excuse my father. This is a funny video. So
eliminate.
Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, it's this one right here. It's stupid. Excuse my folly, but this is literally a visual representation.
Okay, Peter, a good and conspicuous word. Step. 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 Step.
You can't be this fucking guy that's over here trying to take a step forward.
Okay, Peter,
and
whatever
taking
you
a stop
do
at fucking Burger King. That's the thing, man. We have to be in this thing. And excuse my folly, but a lot, you know, it seems stupid, but it's true. We're all running in a race. Sometimes that spirit of wanting to divot into that pleasurable thing could hop on you, man. You can't be on there. Everyone that, you know, runs to win a race runs all to win that prize, man. We trying to stay focused and keep going forward. It says every man that striveth for masteries is tempered in all things. Now they do it to obtain the corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. Being tempered in all things is being patient. You know, is being able to understand. That's a white bird. Call all y'all Vashim Yashai. But being able to actually, damn, that's the spirit. Being able to actually like, you know, put away things, man. Save things for later and actually just put the Lord first. That's primarily the first and chief thing of it all. Is putting the Lord first. You know, and we can make mistakes in this flesh on not putting the Lord first. Not putting this ministry first. If this ministry and the Lord isn't first in your life, you can expect to see everything else to fall apart. You can see everything else because when you come into this truth, it's do or die. It's not do and maybe, you know, maybe you can, nah, you're gonna fucking die. I'm gonna die if Jake don't get this thing right, man. We all gonna die if we don't get this thing right, man. By following the Lord, man. By doing things right by him. But hey, I pray this lesson was well said and edifying. When I like to give all honor, praises, and infinite glory to you. How will Bashem Yahshua Bashem Rakak with that Shalom.